LEGO community loves a really good haul. I love them, you love them, I make them, you watch them. We have a good relationship going on here, and with a lot of LEGO to buy and, you know, not unlimited money, sacrifices have to be made. So today I thought I would do an anti-haul and basically talk about all of the sets that I never plan on buying, because there are quite a few of them. Some just because I'm not really interested in them, others because I just think it's like a ridiculous concept, and then some I'm just like, you know what, that's probably not a set that I'm gonna love forever, so as much as I like it now, I'm just gonna let it go. Now this by no means is every set that I don't want. There are still a ton that I don't want. For example, I'm not gonna buy a single Duplo set ever, but these are some of the main highlights I feel like, or maybe even I just guess more well-known and like popular sets that I just don't plan on buying. To start off with, one that I will never get is the Friends apartments. Firstly, I've never seen the entirety of Friends. I could just never get behind it. I think there are parts of it that's good, but I've never been a big Friends person. Central Perk is a set though I did really like. I thought it was awesome. The apartments, however, while the individual apartments I think look really good and they're very accurate to what at least I recognize and know from the show, this set's layout is so awkward. Like, it's just really long and really big, but also really deep, and just looks like an absolute pain to display, not to mention how like flat it is. So if you put it on a shelf, like, you can't have it too high up or you're gonna miss all of the details. It just looks like a displaying nightmare. And there are a couple of like really cool minifigure pieces in it. Like, I love Janice's hair. I really want that for my Bellatrix. I also love the Rachel minifigure in this set. I love her outfit so much and I would love to try and get it, but just everything else feels mediocre. Monica doesn't look quite right to me. I don't know what it is about Phoebe's hair as well. Like, sometimes I think it's fine, other times I think it's dodgy, but just the whole design of the apartment layout, while it's accurate to the show, I don't like it at all. Like, not even from a build standpoint do I think I would ever get this set. The next one is the Super Star Destroyer. Now, I really like this set. I've seen it on display in the LEGO store. I think it looks incredible, but to me, it's just too plain, not iconic enough, and just, again, a lot of space. This thing is giant. It's super long and it's super flat, and I feel like it's harder to display than the Millennium Falcon. Even though the Millennium Falcon doesn't come with like a particularly great stand, it's just some feet. Like, this one does admittedly do that. It's only got 2 minifigures though, and they're kind of lame. Don't really care for them. This one's arm printing though is really nice, but otherwise it's just a bit boring. This thing is cool, don't get me wrong. It looks like a pain to build, it looks like a pain to store, and it looks like a pain to dust. Not to mention the fact that like the price tag, just no, I would rather get the Falcon or the AT-AT. I think they're both more iconic builds, more iconic items and ships and just things from Star Wars in general. Also, even though they are more expensive, they just look a lot cooler and I guess just a bit more well-designed or interesting or eye-catching than a giant, like, grey gem. That's what it looks like to me. Next up is the Delorean, and this is for similar reasons to the Friends apartments, because I've just never seen all of the Back to the Future movies. I think I've seen clips of like the first one and like maybe the second one, but like I've never watched them all the way through. I'm just not interested in this car. Do I think it looks great? Absolutely. I loved as well watching Josh build stuff review on this thing. I was incredibly interested just to see what the car is like, and I love the look of it. I cannot stand the minifigures though. I think that was a major disappointment, and the Dimensions ones were far better. But again with this, like, I'm not a huge giant car person either, so that does have that against it. But I love the customizability of this set. I love the design of it. I think it looks incredible, but it's just not a set for me. It's not a set I'm interested in. I even feel like if I watched all of the movies, I probably still wouldn't want that. Like, I would want the Ideas set more, just because like I prefer minifigure scale items or anything close to minifigure scale. This car is definitely not it, but it looks amazing. Next up, this is a set that I have talked about a lot that I just do not like, and that is the Iron Man buildable figure. I hate the way it looks. I just think it's incredibly lanky and out of proportion. The fact that it's got a light brick as well feels like it's just a giant waste of budget and makes the thing feel so expensive what you're actually getting. I mean, it's an interesting concept. It's good that they're trying something new with Lego Marvel, but I hate it. That's really all I can say for this thing. I just do not like it at all. Never buying it, not even if it's on sale. No one will convince me otherwise that that is not a bad set in my eyes. If you like buildable figures, good for you. I imagine it's very stable and well built, but no, I don't like it. No, thank you. Goodbye. Going back to big vehicles, the big Tumbler. I'm not getting it. As much as I want that Heath Ledger Joker figure, I would rather just cough up the like 30, 40 bucks individually for that figure and just pass on the Tumbler. Like, the Tumbler already is not my favorite Batman vehicle. I don't particularly like it that much. The mini Tumbler that they made as well is perfect. I get my Christian Bale Batman, I get the Scarecrow, I get the Tumbler, and it fits in with all my other Batmobiles. It's perfect. I don't need this giant one that, again, looks really difficult to display. A lot of this stuff comes down to like displaying things and I guess just my own personal Lego preferences. But this Tumbler, no. I would much rather buy like the 1989 Batmobile, even though I feel like I don't have as close of a connection with that car as I probably would like the Tumbler. Like, I grew up with those films and not the 89 one, but the 89 one just looks better. I would rather spend my money on that, or even the Batwing, because you can hang it up on the wall. The Tumbler, though, never appealed to me, and I'm glad, because like that's an expensive set. It does look really well built though, and look incredibly accurate and detailed, and I love that for it. But yeah, just no. Just no to any of the stadiums. I'm getting really sick of them at this point. Similarly to the Marvel mechs, but just in a very different price range. It's just the same thing repeated at this point, and I get it because like they're all stadiums, like they all have to have a soccer field, they all have stands, and like they do look vastly different and support vastly different teams, but it's the same type of build done 3 times, and they're really expensive. And like, I'm a fan of soccer and football. I mean, not all the time, but like I will follow very closely and get very passionate about the FIFA World Cup every year. Shout out to Qatar 2022, I'm very excited. But I'm just, like, what are we doing? Unless they're doing, like, the Ted Lasso Stadium from the show, I don't care. I really hope that there's not another one this year, because I feel like it's just getting repetitive at this point. Like, we have 3 of them in Creator Expert now. That's enough. I know that there are tons of teams. Don't want them. I find them, like, kind of boring as well. Like, how interesting, really, can you get the exterior of a stadium building? I don't know, not to mention the price point. It's just, no, never doing it. The Adidas Superstar, I don't understand why this set was made. Firstly, the Adidas Superstar shoes were like super popular in 2016. This shoe is not in style and not in fashion anymore. I know it's like one of those like iconic shoes like Converse, but like it's had its phase. We've moved on from that. Like, why are we making this shoe now? I feel like the Adidas Ultra Boost is a much more like popular and just like, I guess, hype shoe, that if they made that, it probably would sell better. But even then, why are we making Lego shoes? I don't know, it's a weird one for me. I've always been turned off by the idea of this set. However, I love how they did the box. The fact that it is like a shoe box is genius. I love it. I think it's incredibly creative. The shoe itself looks incredibly accurate as well, but like you can buy a pair of shoes, about the actual shoes, for the same price practically that you can buy the set. Like, it doesn't make much sense. Let's not make Lego shoes again. Unless we're making like the Adidas collab shoes. Those are fine. Lego brick-built shoes, on the other hand, let's not do that again. Let's talk about Boba Fett's palace for a second here. This set is underwhelming. I literally ran out and bought Jabba's palace, even though it was retired and really expensive, instead of buying Boba's palace, because I did not like the design of this set. The coolest thing are the minifigures, and I don't care if I can walk into a Costco and like buy this set for 20% off. I don't want to do it. I've got the figures and I'm happy. Like, I guess it would be a cool parts pack, but just the build of this set, it feels like super skinny and super scrawny, but also like really flat. It's just a weird shape. Not a huge fan of it. Also, why is there a giant grate just like on the floor? Don't know what's happening here. Not a huge fan of it. And you can tell that Boba really got the short end of the stick, because I also do not like his Starship. Boba's Starship, Boba Slave 1, it's not good. I think this is a bit too small. Like, honestly, the Cloud City one looked so much better than this, and that's essentially what they were going for, just on its own, in order to tie in with the Mandalorian. The minifigures kind of sucked. I mean, we all knew that Boba was going to come out, or at least I did, so I just didn't buy the set in general. The little carrying stand is weird. The ship, it just feels too small. I get what they're going for, and for the like price range and the demographic that this is made for, this could be cool. For me, no, it's too chunky and too blocky. Like, I know that's a weird thing to say considering it's made of Lego, but like, it's just awkward. Like, no, I'll skip on that one. Thank you. Not to mention the price. Bit much. I'm also not going to buy the Batcave. Now, I really like this set. I really want this set, but I look at it and I'm like, this is something I'm going to be like, why did I spend my money on this? This is taking up too much space in like a year or so. The minifigure selection is awesome, but like the only one that I'm really interested in buying is the Riddler. The fact that it can incorporate as well with the Batmobile is awesome. I love that. But like the Batmobile on its own I think is enough for me, and then I'll just buy a couple of the figures. The Batcave looks awesome. It's incredibly cool. It's incredibly detailed. I love the design of it, but I just know that I'm not going to love it in the long term. So for that reason, even if it's on sale, I'm just not going to buy it. Space, unfortunately, is more valuable to me right now, and for that reason alone, I am passing up on this set. And the last one I want to talk about is probably a given just because of what theme it's from, and that is the Technicar McLaren. And now, the whole reason I wanted to bring up the McLaren is because I really want a Lego Formula 1 car. I ended up getting the Mercedes set so I could have like the little minifigure scale F1 car, and I love it. Do I watch Formula 1? No. Does my family sort of follow Formula 1? Yeah, we do. My grandpa used to work for McLaren, and that is the whole reason I really want this car, but I don't want to because I hate Technic. Like, it's such a sentimental thing to me personally, like with my grandpa working for it. Like when I was a kid as well, I got to go to like the McLaren studio. I was one. I don't remember any of it, but there are photos of it and I love that. But I cannot put myself through the pain of Technic. It looks awesome. I don't follow F1 currently, and I know that like Daniel Ricciardo is like currently a part of the team, and I guess he's Australian, so I probably should care about it. But like, I guess I'm just not that into Formula 1 that I can put myself through building a Technic set. If it was brick built, I would be on board. I probably would have bought this set, but it's Technic. Not gonna do it. The tiny one is enough to fill that like sentimental void for me, so I'm good, I'm happy. But the model is beautiful by far. That is my favorite Technic set I've ever seen. So those are some of the sets that I just never plan on buying. Again, this is a very personal, very biased list. I mean, at the end of the day, it's my Lego collection, it's my money, it's my personal taste. Of course that's gonna have a huge part in it, but I thought it would be fun to just talk about the sets that, yeah, I'm just not a huge fan of. One of the fun parts about Lego is everyone's different collections and everyone's different favorite themes and different opinions and all of that. Like, that's such a fun part of being a part of the community. Like, everyone is different. So I thought it would be fun to share all of this with you. So if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel down below. And until next time, guys, I'll see you later.